Today, I'm sharing 7 key things I wish I had known before diving into Chain Together. These tips have helped me save a lot of time, frustration, and in-game currency. Stick around to discover these important things. First off, a great strategy for new players in Chain Together is to begin in beginner mode exclusively. As they get more used to the game, they can move up in difficulty either to normal mode or lava mode to get more of a challenge. However, starting in beginner mode will allow these new gamers to get used to the world around them and learn the ropes. Beginner mode is not only easier overall with simpler areas and obstacles, but players will also be able to utilize checkpoints. Whenever someone falls, they will automatically restart at the last checkpoint that they reached rather than have to completely restart the level. This gives players time to get used to the game and learn from their mistakes so they can improve their skills over time. Next, another effective approach for learning and Chain Together is observing other strategies. Just like with any new skill, watching experienced players can provide invaluable insights. Whether it's following YouTube tutorials or playing alongside skilled friends in co-op mode, observing how others tackle challenges can significantly improve gameplay. By studying these strategies, new players can glean efficient ways to navigate difficult sections and approach more complex game modes. Learning from seasoned players, especially through platforms like YouTube, where pros share their best techniques, equips beginners with top-tier methods. Applying these strategies in-game will require practice and constant exposure to refine their skills. As mentioned earlier, beginner mode in Chain Together features a checkpoint system exclusive to this difficulty level. This makes it the ideal starting point for new gamers, as checkpoints allow them to resume from the last checkpoint reached instead of restarting the entire level when they fall. This setup encourages players to focus on skill improvement rather than merely reaching the finish line. New players should take advantage of this checkpoint system by using it whenever possible and not hesitating to explore and learn. With the safety net provided by checkpoints and any wings of freedom they acquire, players can quickly grasp the game mechanics without overthinking every move. Given that 3 checkpoints are available, players should strategically use them to practice and conquer challenging sections effectively. Another tip that should be considered a requirement, but a lot of people ignore practicing the controls before they are actually used to them and instead just dive straight into the game. It is best to avoid doing this, as it is much better to take time with the controls and really get to know how to properly run, jump, and even complete a long jump. For those beginner players who are struggling with learning how to optimize the controls as much as possible, it is best to check out tutorials online to learn more about how to properly perform these moves. However, the best method here is to just practice frequently and do so in solo mode. In this mode, players won't have to worry about being tied to other players, but instead can just focus on getting through the obstacles using the controls they learned. Although Chain Together is technically on one single map, there are 10 different sections of the map, ranging from the Hell Cliffs to the Garden. Each of these areas will have completely different obstacles that players will need to overcome together, which can become quite a surprise if they aren't aware of their surroundings. As new players are getting used to their own strategies and controls, they will also want to familiarize themselves with each area and their obstacles, so they don't come across any surprises. For players who want to eventually speedrun through Chain Together, they will need to know each area inside out and have a strategy plan for how they can quickly navigate their way through. In Chain Together, memory paths are sections where you first see the path, then it disappears, and you have to remember it to get through. It's tough, but it helps you improve your memory and problem-solving skills as you play. It's a great challenge for players looking to test themselves with something really tough. While launchers in Chain Together might seem intimidating at first, since they can launch players to incredibly far distances, they can actually be extremely useful. Yes, they can be dangerous to use and might make players fall, but they are often required to move ahead. Don't be afraid to take these launchers and catapult ahead quickly, but make sure to look ahead for any obstacles in the way. For those players who are still a beginner, it is a good idea to practice using these launchers in solo mode to get used to them and be able to use them properly without falling into the bottom area. Basically, solo mode will be a beginner's best friend for getting a handle on all the map areas, how to use controls properly, and how to use launchers to the best of their ability. Always practice before attempting the real thing with other players in a new lobby or when speedrunning. And there it is. That wraps up my first I Wish I Knew Sooner video for Chain Together. If you found any fascinating tips, feel free to share them in the comments below. Some of the most valuable tips often come from viewer contributions, so don't hesitate to share your thoughts. If I come across a tip I love and haven't covered yet, I'll be sure to include it in my next video. Thank you all for watching.